For those of you that are new here, this is a series that documents a challenge I'm undergoing to grow a $500 Robinhood account using long-term investing, swing trading, options, day trading, that kind of stuff. And if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button. That'll notify you of any videos that come out like this one. And if you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both of my handles are at InTheMoneyAdam, because my name is Adam. I'm in the money, baby. Also, if you haven't already joined Robinhood, in the description there is a link that you can click to join Robinhood. It'll give you a free share of stock, and it'll give me a free share of stock, so kind of a win-win if you're interested anyway. For those of you who are tagging along to make a big, quick buck, I challenge you to think broader. There is no big, quick money, no easy, big, quick money in the stock market. Those people who turn $500 into $20,000 in a week have undergone a significant level of risk that I am unwilling to take. And most people who do try to turn $500 into $20,000 in a week usually lose their $500. So we're not gonna do that. Let's make big, consistent money in the long run. And that doesn't mean you're not doing fast trades. We're gonna do a lot of quick trades, like day trades and swing trades, but those quick trades will add up over time, and in the long run, you're gonna be getting big gains. It's not going to be overnight, so just have that in mind as we're going forward. If you've come for fun and satisfaction, you've come to the right place. But if you've come for a thrill and stress, then go swing some single leg options around, because I guarantee you will have a lot of thrill and you'll have a lot of stress. Now here's my overall strategy, and it is subject to change, by the way. About half of my portfolio will be in long-term investments, and this will be our coal engine on our gains train that'll keep us chugging a lugging, heading in the upwards direction, without me having to micromanage every little bit of it. We just buy and we hold and we let it just run its course over the long term. That's just some money we'll be making without having to worry about it too much. Now these are going to be picked on fundamentals, as increase in stock price over the long term is generally realized with solid companies. The other 50% of my portfolio will be set aside for swing trades. Swing trades are trades where we try to capture an uptrend over a short period, like a few days, a couple weeks, usually less than a month though. These types of trades have higher risk than long-term investing in hopes of getting higher returns. As with any increase in risk, you have a higher potential return. However, we will always have a plan, we will always have a strategy, we'll always have entry and exit points, and we'll always stick to them unless new information comes around, such as news. It's always good to go in with a strict plan. The more you act like a robot, the better. The rocket boosters, hopefully this analogy is not getting too muddled, but the rocket boosters that are gonna be welded to the back of our gains train are gonna be our monthly contributions. Think about it, we're not really here to grow $500. If that's all we were doing, even if we got 100% return in the first year, which is insane, we would only have $1,000 by the end of that first year. And that's nothing really too spectacular. We want to be increasing the money we invest all the time so that there's more money to gain interest on. And then that interest will gain interest, and then soon we'll be on compound railroad on gains train to Titty City, baby. So for you guys with your portfolios, you can obviously do whatever you want, but I highly encourage and challenge you to contribute as much as you can, as often as you can, without ramen becoming your primary form of nutrition. The more you add to your portfolio, the more it's gonna grow, and the faster it's gonna grow, and the more interest is gonna accrue, and the more interest on interest, and it's just gonna grow a lot faster the more you contribute to it. So although we are growing $500, we're gonna be regularly contributing this so that we can really pick up speed. Otherwise, it'd be actually pretty darn boring. So I actually started this last Monday. I did a live stream where I explained my picks, although I've kind of switched them around. And I have actually been trading over this last week, and I am down 1.5%. But do you see this? I don't care. I could just be hungover, but I also don't care. I'm not here to make money in a week. I'm here to make money in over months and over years. Not to mention that 1.5% of $500 is small potatoes compared to what my portfolio value is going to be over months and months of contributing. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm going to be contributing about $250 a month just to keep things interesting. Again, you add as much as you're willing to. I have faith in my long-term investments, and I have faith in my ability to swing trade. If you're a little sketchy or feel suspicious of your own ability to swing trade, then maybe stick 75% to long-term investments and then 25% to practicing swing trading. A lot of you guys have been asking. I'm going to start trading options probably around the $1,000 to $1,500 mark. It becomes easier with bigger accounts because high probability trades, the losses that could be accrued by those, are going to be a more manageable percent of my total net worth. Like right now, a $50 loss would be pretty significant with a $500 account, but later on it won't be that big of a deal. Also, if I have more capital, I can enter more options trades, and those high probabilities, well, the probabilities can work themselves out. If that's confusing to you, don't really worry about it. I'll explain a little bit more in the future, but for right now, we're not going to touch options. Sorry. Don't worry, I'll still be making educational options videos and that kind of thing in case you just want to use them. I personally, for this account, am not going to be using them until around 1,000 or 1,500. I'll stop to think about it a little bit. I will be releasing update videos every Monday, and they will go over my previous week's trades and everything that happened, do some analysis there, talk about what my current balance is, and then my plans for the following week, and also give you guys some time to maybe put some comments and give me some input as well on ideas that you might have. Thanks for your attention during this kind of long video. I hope you guys will stick around to see this thing through, although it doesn't really have an end. So stick with me until I retire, I guess. Anyway, thanks a bunch, guys. I will see you in the next one. Again, I will be posting videos every Monday, and then in between there'll be different trading videos as well. So this is not the only thing I'm doing on my channel. Anyways, stay tuned, guys. Peace. So I picked Facebook as one of my long-term investments. They've had a really long dip, as you can see here, a long downtrend with lower lows and lower highs. But recently they had a good Q4 report right in here, which I think marks a turnaround for Facebook. Plus they have a very diversified product portfolio with Facebook, Instagram, well, Facebook obviously, Instagram, WhatsApp, cost of business by a good amount. So this and the fact that it tested around the 180/200 SMA and rejected it gives me enough reason to go for it for the long term. And this is on the weekly chart. The larger the time frame you're looking at, in general, the longer term you're evaluating. So for this one, you're looking at weekly, you're thinking pretty long term. As you can see, it is trending above the 9 EMA and the 180 SMA. My second long-term pick is waste management. That I want to get into waste management here. Not as a job, but to buy into. I'm going to buy one share to start with, although I'm going to wait for it to take a bit of a dip, because as you can see, it is overextended on the RSI and the MACD, and just by looking at it, you can tell it's pretty overextended and due for a correction. So I'm going to wait for any sort of a dip, and then I will buy in. It doesn't have to be a perfect bottom, as I can always average down, meaning if I buy in and it keeps going down, I can buy in again later to decrease my overall average cost paid. So I'll just wait for some sort of dip and I'll buy in. The reason I am bullish on this company is because they are very integrated with the United States macroeconomy. You've seen waste management trucks everywhere probably. And the way they make money, which is off of waste, isn't really going away anytime soon. So all these things combined with the fact that they've been in an uptrend for a long time is enough reason for me to go bullish for the long term. The first of my swing trades is United States Oil Fund, which tracks the price of sweet crude oil. And as you can see here, it is showing an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which shows it's kind of subjective, so take it with a grain of salt. But there's one shoulder here where it decreases the price, a head where it decreases even further, another shoulder where it decreases to about the same price as before, and then usually people will go long at what's called the neckline, which is where these two price points are. Once it passes these two price points, people will generally go long. And you can see it went up, tested this price point here, the neckline, and then rejected. And that's when I went long on it. And you can see that it may be starting to make higher lows, which would be a good thing. We could start seeing a trend upwards. It is also trending above the 180 SMA, which is a good thing. And the RSI is pretty low on the 4-hour chart. I will put a link to more information on the inverse head and shoulders pattern in the description. This is the inverse of the typical head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish pattern. The second of my picks, which is a little bit speculative, is Coca-Cola. They had a pretty big dip recently, and although they are trending below the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, you can see here that even though the price action shows lower lows and lower highs, you can see on the RSI that it's showing higher lows. See how it's different than what the price action is saying? Well, this is called bullish divergence, and it is a bullish indicator. And I've traded this before, and so I've had a good amount of luck with it. And so even though it's trading below the 180 SMA, I think it has potential to start showing an upwards trend based on this bullish divergence. This kind of divergence is pretty rare and is for me, I've been having a lot of luck with it. So I'm going to go for it. If I'm wrong, no big deal, but we're just going to give it a go, put some skin in the game. And even if it goes up to the, the SMA, which may end up being right there, it'd be like 3 or 4%. So, and on the downside, we're looking at where I put in that mark. That's going to be my stop loss. We're looking at like, down maybe 2%-ish. Also, if you didn't catch it on this one over here, we'd be holding this one for probably, which is USO, United States Oil Fund, probably for at least a month, because you can see this uptrend is kind of slow going, so it may take a while before we can capitalize on any uptrend. And I put a stop, well, that stop's not actually accurate, but it's going to be a little bit below this SMA here, because it could go down and test the 180 SMA and keep trending upwards. So with everything, we have a plan, and we want to stick to the plan, and when we are wrong, we're wrong, no big deal. We exit and we enter a new trade and try to make money that way. Don't sweat it, just have a plan. If you don't like them, no big deal. Just pick your own. Just pick ones that you're comfortable with. Pick companies that you like for the long term. Pick swing trades you're familiar with and have had good luck with for the short term, and just have a plan. That's really the most important thing, is to have a plan.